Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and a build finale of AMT's 37 Chevy Coupe. A blast I had with this thing. This kit was pretty stinking old. This is, let me show you. I'm going to jump over to computer. This is ScaleMates. Has this listed, and I thought it was cool because if you look on there, there's a sticker. I'm pretty sure that this is Kmart for $1.96. And I just was curious of when the one that I have was printed. And this says it was posted in 1973. And by looking at the instructions, I could believe it. They're pretty, they're still AMT instructions. But they were kind of fun to follow in places, to say the least. Especially when it came down to the wheels for this one. I got lost. I'm going to tell you right up, because I used the Kragers on here, and I don't know what I did wrong, but I sure didn't do what was supposed to be done, I think. I used the street rod wheels, and things just didn't go the way I thought. And we'll get to that in a minute. I'm not bashing this kit. I'm not bashing these instructions. I'm more bashing myself because I just couldn't figure it out real quick. It took 27 days to build this thing. And out of that 27 days, I think I missed working on it for maybe 5. So it's really a simple kit to work on, but a whole lot of fun. So let's dive in here. I'm going to get these, gee whiz, I'm going to get everybody out of the way, and we'll start talking about this kit. Remember, 1973, and it still holds up. It was a blast. First thing, it's the first time I ever did a clear hood. Yeah, it had a few scratches in it, had a couple of nasty ones in there. You can still see I have 2 of them right in there. But I didn't want to polish this any more than I already did. I did use Tamiya's coarse and fine on this to bring it up to this good. And man, I'm happy with that because it was pretty weather beaten from just, it wasn't in a bag. It was just rubbing around on the bottom of the box, and it got pretty scuffed up to where I wasn't thinking about using it. An hour with Tamiya's polishing compounds, and it all worked out good. So let's jump into this. I'm not going to bring it down yet. I'm going to flip this thing over first. So look at the bottom. That is about the most basic bottom there ever was in the whole world, but it looks really cool. It does have the fuel line. It comes down to here and stops. I was going to run it all the way up, and I thought, you know what? I want to leave this just the way it was intended to be built. So I stopped there, and I half wish I would have just done a complete box stock with no linkage, no wires or anything. But then I would have had to do things in the back that I didn't want to do either. So I may come back and add the fuel line to this someday, but not right now. I'm happy with the way it looks. The bottom side of the engine looks great. If you can notice what I notice, you let me know in the comments. Speaking of comments, I'm getting real close to 7,000 subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, I would really appreciate hitting the subscribe button. It'll really help the channel keep rolling. But anyhow, I left the headers not attached like they are. I could have pulled those in. This glue glued up so well. I could have pulled them in and glued them, but I kind of liked them running a little bit wild. With this build, it just kind of fit. Gallery's paint pens did all the bolts silver in the back. Took me all of about 3 seconds to do those, and they're all hexagonal bolts. I only had to touch up, as you can see, I had to touch up one of them. Not too bad. And the 2 in the back here, on either side, those are square bolts. So I thought, well, that's pretty funny because every time I get into a valve where I got to work with square bolts, I'm always like, why? The doors, remember I moved the gas can or the gas fill back to here. Look at, I'm getting a thumbprint on here from holding it. But I moved the gas can or the gas filler back. I like it there better than on that door panel or behind the door panel. I added Jim Pelosi's Pontiac taillights to this. Oh, I love them. They look a whole lot better. I did kind of lay the big chrome stove bolt one across the back, and with this build and this color and everything, it overpowered everything. So maybe if I did like a blue, look at that, I'm gonna have to polish that out. Maybe if I did a blue or something like that, it would look just so boom, it's here. The other thing I didn't do, I didn't cut out the hood because I wasn't wiring the headlights. But if you wanted to just do this as stock, it does have the 6-cylinder in there. You could run headlights. You could open this up. Shoot, I bet you any money you could open this up and even put a rumble seat back there. There's enough room to work. Not as a gasser, of course, but it would be fun to do. The windshield wipers, I did the small sections metal and left the rubber on there. I thought that was good. I did wire up that engine looking at it, and as I said before, I went with the flat white, like VHT white for the headers. The intake and the throttle body have the fuel rod and the return spring for the to open the front. I did not yet run my wire across the back because I was just spent too much time on the hood, and I wanted to get this out today. I will drop that in. It's already painted and everything. It was just, I know if I put it in and then did the finale, it would have fallen out onto the table because it wouldn't have had a proper amount of time to dry. But I'm happy with the wires. I'm happy with that VH or the HEI distributor. Now that I put the aftermarket on top, the aftermarket cap on there, it all worked out really well. So I'm happy all around with this engine. I got my dipstick in. Our blower's looking good. Everything's working out great there. The interior, I'll flip you up here so you can peek in. That's the first time I ever did a UV resin gauge head, and I learned real fast you don't need as much as you think. It does not settle down, so I got a bubble in there. But that's okay. The other thing I didn't do is I didn't put turn signals on here because this is a straight dragger. It's going to be on a trailer, so I left that out. And I didn't put the seat belts in. I had them painted and everything and put them on, and they just did not look good. So I opted to I'd rather not go with them. I could have done a Tamiya's tape seat belts, but then again, I wanted to keep as much of this as stock to the box as I could, so I left those off too. He better hold on. That's all I got to say. The interior, though, worked out really good. I did that panel liner on the seats. Here's a picture before and then a picture after. And then I did a flat coat on it, but I didn't go as flat as I should have, so it's still a little glossy for my book. And I didn't even realize that because it didn't look that way until after it was in with all the black around it. And then I was like, it's a little bit shinier than I'd like, but I'll take it. The rims and tires and everything, the tires were fantastic for split tires. They glued up real nice. They sanded real nice. The rims on the back went on great. Everything fit. They went onto the axles really nice. And then we got to the front ones. Now I already had, and I'm going to bring up the instructions, and that's why I had this out, just in case anybody else gets involved in this. These are what I did. I'll pull you down here. split the split rims or the split tires are no problem because they're interlocking tires. They go together like a gear set. The front dropped right in. The center ring went right in. The outer ring went right in. And I got everything taken care of and all put on. I get ready to go to the end. These are made for an axle. These are not. So I'm like, oh, what the heck? And there was nothing I could do. Then I found the inner brake. Let me flip you. I'll get rid of this now. But I found it has inner brakes on it. And with the inner brakes, they do fit onto the part. But I didn't realize that until after I snipped this one back. I was just going to glue it flush on there and pin it. So I didn't realize that fit in there like that until I already had that one trimmed back. So I trimmed it back. I drilled a hole in the center, drilled a hole all the way into, I'll pull you back out here, all the way back into the front end. And then I just put a piece of the axle that came with it. I put it into the tire or into the front rim where it was already drilled for one. Snipped it off flush with the tire, pushed it down over top of that axle, and that worked out great. The other side, all I did was snipped it, put it on the axle, and put it on. I didn't have to do any filler work or anything because I screwed up and cut that side off. So I was into it for an hour and a half, just messing around, trying to get everything to sit, trying to get it to where there's no teeter-totter, everything's flat on the floor, and it worked out. But if you ever get this, I'm not sure if the newer instructions are changed or not, but that you do need those inner brake drums to make this fit onto it. And I would still drill that axle out and put the steel axle in there and just super glue it. That way they're never going anywhere. I don't make mine roll anyhow, so I'm cool with that. Now look at the side of this thing, how cool that exhaust looks with the gasser setup and all that. Like I said, it's not a part heavy kit. It's fun to build. You can go straight off the box. You don't really need to wire it or anything because if you look, the wires drop out and they're gone. I actually took the time to go online and look up a 454's firing order and even made it right, put everything on, and was like, well, I could have just done whatever I wanted and nobody'd ever know the difference. But it is right, and I know it's right, and that's a lot of the builds. You hide so much that you know's there that nobody else will ever see. The headlights, they needed a little bit of work. You can see they're not as clear as my headlights usually are, and that's because when I went to fit them on, I got them to where they press fitted in and was like, okay, click, and they clicked in. I did, oh, good, let's see the other one. I clicked it in. I couldn't get them back out. There's quick shine on the outside just to shine up the lights on the outside, but usually I put quick shine on the inside of the light lens and then in and around the ring, and then I put the light lens in the chrome, and then I glue it in with quick shine on the outside. Well, oh well. It is what it is. But I'm happy with everything. Those would have been nice to be really clear, but they're pretty decent. The whole kit is a blast. If you ever find one of these things, I highly recommend grabbing it. I had a blast with it. I'm going to start looking for these things. And if you see me carrying 2 or 3, say, hey, dude, what's up? Because if I find 2 or 3, I'm going to grab 2 or 3. I want to do another gasser. And I also want to do the regular street version of it with the big engine. And I want to do the street version of it with the straight 6, too. So if I ever find them again. And again, let's jump over the computer again. You can see that they're out there. The last time they were printed was, what the heck? I pushed the wrong button. Was 2001. So they've been around. A little things have changed. Um, but again, if you go back to ScaleMates, the only thing here is new box, new decals, new decals, new decals. They didn't add any extra parts to it. This is the only one that they added parts to is the 37 Chevy Coupe 2-in-1. And I never looked at it, so I have no idea, but they say there's new parts to it. But with this one, it's all the same. Just the decals, and you see I didn't use one decal on this whole kit. So it was just a straight build. Very, very, very simple. So again, I want to thank everybody for following along with this. This car really drew in some interest, more than I ever thought it would have. I'm sorry, I would have started building it way sooner if I knew you guys wanted to see it that bad. But with that, I want to remind everybody that we are doing our first annual breast cancer awareness 24-hour group build, October 11th, 2025, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time. That'll run in conjunction with Bob's Model Works Chris Cortell Annual Cancer Awareness Group Build, which runs from October 1st to October 31st. A link is in the description for that one, so check that out too and sign up for his. Also in the description is a link to the GoFundMe page I set up for the American Cancer Society. We're going to take donations the whole time we're building, and you can start now if you want. But all the proceeds are going to the American Cancer Society, so any help you can give would be greatly appreciated. I want to thank Gallery for everything. That video I put out for just rambling at the airbrush, I will be doing more of those. I probably will do some ramblings while I build too, because I've had some people ask if I want to do that. Let me know in the comments if you want to see rambling at the workbench, along with some more rambling at the airbrush station. I want to thank our veterans, our active duty members, and our first responders for all that they do, because without them, we can't do what we're doing. I also want to thank Automotive Model Car Livecast, Bruce, Jason, and Mike for all the hard work they do to make my Thursdays the best days of the week. With that, how about if we start some music and see what the pictures look like? Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and a finale of our 37 Chevy Coupe from AMT. This is a crappy beginning. I'm going to start this all over. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and a finish video of course it's a video. Yeah. They say this was the 27th. I mean, Jesus crap. Now I'm laughing. But an hour with Tammy's putty. Tammy's putty. Jeez. 2. I didn't start it off. Okay, well, whatever. All right, well, if I do that, will it stay in focus now? Yeah. All right, how about if we stop recording now? Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and build update number 1 on Chevys. Take two. I didn't want to do a blooper video at the end of this, but it looks like we're heading that way.